It's been like 10 years.
He was just got back from Abu Dhabi, I think.
Really? Oh, that was
When
13
when
years.
John came, yeah.
Yeah, that was 13 years. That was
it that?
2012.
Yeah,
was
well,
amazing.
you were just starting.
Well, yeah, I was telling these guys, I was like, Rusty literally sold me my first spool of thread when I had nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have given it to me. I don't
You
remember.
didn't have the factory yet either. You
Nope.
were telling me what you were doing. I'm saying, no.
Yeah, you're like, this guy's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is Lewiston. This is about an hour from our factory in Farmington. And this was the heartbeat of Maine manufacturing. All the footwear manufacturing was here, all the weaving, the textile weaving. I think they might have even woven fabric here for the Civil War, for the Union Army. It's the Androscoggin River that runs through here. It's a massive river. And there's all sorts of infrastructure, abandoned infrastructure. Some of it has been gentrified, turned into restaurants and stuff like that, which is awesome. There's still a surviving company here that's maybe 60 years old, between 60 and 80 years old, named Quoddy. And they've been making hand-sewn shoes for all these years. They're just a small brand, but when we're like, we need to make a origin-style boat shoe, we first went to them because they have all the knowledge still on how to do this. Not only do they know how to hand sew the shoe, but also the thread for that is made here in Lewiston too, which is quite a process in itself.
Lots of companies in this world make thread, but not everybody can make a waxed tapered end like we do. It's used for hand sewing mock. It means a lot to me to keep this place going, only because, my grandfather started this, and I worked for him as I was a little kid, and then for my dad, and to see all the great shoe companies in Maine when I was younger thrive here, and we thrived here. It was great. Then all of a sudden, in the 70s and 80s, and even into the 90s, they all moved offshore. We're still doing it, and we're proud to be doing it. So we are the last line of defense when it comes to that. We're the only ones in America making that product. So probably 10 years ago, man, it was just a normal day. And this guy here and some other guy named John at the time, John and Peter.
His name's still John.
Yeah, John. And they came in and said, yeah, we're gonna start manufacturing in the USA. He said, I remember the conversation well. He said, I've been making some gis over in Pakistan, right?
Pakistan.
And they're ripping off my designs, and I want to start doing it here. And we're going to build a factory. I said, you're going to build it? I said, who's building it? No, we're going to build it. Me and the guys. I said, and I remember saying, yeah, I said, this place is old, but, I wish we had a new loading dock. He says, well, I'm going to build a loading dock. I said, yeah, but how? He goes, I go, you know how to do cement? He goes, no, I'll figure it out. So they just came in and said, yeah, I'd like to buy a spool of thread or something. I get some old machines, and I was, like I said, I was totally impressed that the I don't know what you call it. He's fearless, I can figure it out. I'll do it, and then a few years later, I figured, oh yeah, they did it all right.
This building is where our partners at Quoddy are helping us with these boat shoes, bringing these to life.
The moccasin is the oldest form of shoe construction. They've found moccasins in caves that date back 10,000 years. Really what a moccasin is and the way it's made is it wraps around your foot like this. And so what early cave people, cavemen, or whatever they may have been, did was they had hides and they wrapped them around their feet and then they were tying them. And that is how the moccasins came about. And it's, to this day, it's continued to be the most comfortable pair of shoes you can find. You'll find that the shoes are being made by folks who have relatives that made shoes before them. It's not one of these things you wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to make shoes today. Well, no, you have to understand how it works. You have to be able to get into it also. And Lewiston really has that type of mentality, and it has a great bounce back mentality too. Every piece of leather, every shoe they make is different because you're not dealing with a consistent substrate. You're dealing with leather. You're dealing with the skin. You're dealing with a hide that's been treated. Different parts of the hide reacts to stretching differently. Different parts of the hide react to stitching differently.
This is the first step in the hand sewing process.
So what the hand sewers have to do is while they're setting up the shoe, they're feeling that piece of leather. They're understanding what this piece of leather is. They're seeing where the stretch is. And when they set it up, they use tacks to go around, and they put the last in it, and then they put the top on it, which is the tip, and they'll start sewing around it. And as they sew around it, they are feeling the shoe. They're gathering. They're bringing it in. And every shoe is different. Like the right shoe may have 72 stitches in it, and the left shoe may have 76 stitches in it. Reason being is the leather reacted a little bit differently. It was folding in differently. It was, he felt it as he went around it. So for hand sewers, experience is very, very important.
Mostly art, not as much science, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, every cut is kind of different. You know, stretch is different.
Yeah.
Different part of the animals.
The hand sewing is an entity upon itself.
We came down to Quoddy to look at our boat shoes being hand sewn. With our bison leather, this full grain leather, the way we want to make it for more of like woods and waters, inland Maine, it's a hard thing to make. It's a dying craft, but they have the knowledge. They have like 60 years, I mean, over 200 years between the thread maker and Quoddy. Like going back 30 years. I mean, you're talking 22 years on this upper.
If we do not allow this trade to be passed on to others, it's going to disappear. No doubt about it at all. Here in the United States anyway.
I want everybody to see that transparent supply chain. I just think that so much has been sold away, whether you call it from politicians or corporate raiders or predatory capitalism, but these big brands abandoned the American worker and they chased profit. And profit's good, man. Like I consider myself a conscious capitalist. Profit's good. You don't want to not make money, but there's, in my opinion, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. You know, like there's taking care of your community and those within arm's reach and beyond, if you have the ability to do that. That is important to me. That's an important origin. That's why we exist. This is living proof that the heartbeat of America is still alive.
The Bison Boat Shoe, that is a very cool shoe. This is a real material story because I have never seen a boat shoe so rugged. We have multiple reinforced stitching that attaches the vamp to the tip. The Bison itself, although it is tough, it's wonderful to work with. It's a very good product to work with, but it's tough. It's gonna last. It's gonna last a very long time.
There's nothing more American than Lakota bison, and we kept it full grain. So like the leather is the same exact thickness and the same exact leather we use in our work boots, but it's not stiff, it's supple. That's the good thing about bison is it's rugged and durable, but it's supple, it's buttery. If you cut the parts on the bison correctly, then that shoe is gonna form to your foot, and you can see like in the toe box, how this is cut. It's cut back to belly, right? So if you think about the back of the animal and the belly of the animal, it's cut this way where there's natural stretch. And so when you put your foot inside, it's gonna take not days, like hours to just stretch just enough to fit around your foot. And I have like a triple E with flat foot, right? This thing within one day was like, I haven't taken it off. And it's been almost 2 months now. So I think the ruggedness of the bison is really origin. And then we have this sole here, which is a proprietary sole. And we're calling it the trail deck sole. And you can see it's not It's not flat and smooth like a traditional boat shoe you're gonna use down on the coast. This thing is great for trails, great for the concrete, the pavement, the cobblestone, and everything in between. And it's super rugged. And it's stitched to the upper, right? This whole part is the upper. It's stitched to that like you would stitch a boot. So there's actually heavy duty thread going through the whole sole into the upper, so you could resole this, which is very cool. And what you can't see, and what I like even more, is that this sole has all these like little fins, almost like gills inside of it. And so when you step in, it molds to your foot. And that's really, really unique for a boat shoe, which traditionally can be uncomfortable. This thing, it feels like a sneaker. Of course, we went with 3 eyelets. So if you wanted to cinch it, you could instead of 2 eyelets. So it just grabs the instep a little bit more if you want it to. And we had Rusty, a friend of mine, obviously, down at Maine Thread, make this thread, which is a heavier weight thread to match the heavyweight leather, to match this durable sole. And all together, that's how you reinvent the boat shoe and make it holy origin. You know, like that is the wave of freedom. This is all from America, and it's built for the woods and waters. I'm very bullish on footwear. It's core to Maine, it's core to my hometown, and we're not living into our mission of breathing life back into the dream if we don't truly expand our footwear offering in a meaningful way and make some of those styles that defined us as a state and as a community.